Hello good people, welcome to my YouTube channel. I don't know if you can tell, but it's late at night and I thought I should include you in this video because one or two people have asked me about my working schedule, and as we all know, it's the beginning of the month, so I'm just about to start planning my activities for this month. So if this is something you've been curious about, grab a pen and paper. Let's do this together. So usually before I start the process of planning my monthly activity, I always do my research, especially when it comes to matters that directly impact my salary at the end of the month. So I do my research and I write it down separately and then I start from there. So on today's video, I'm going to use my diary, my biro, my monthly activity sheet. This was for April. It's filled up, but I have it like it's stapled together. So I'm going to use a new page to plan out the new month and a weekly activity sheet. I don't know if you people have the same problem, but when I'm transitioning from one month to another, I always have that lazy week, and that week is this week for me. So I usually end up using a weekly activity sheet, just one to plan for this lazy week which is disorganized or which is unplanned for. Disclaimer, I'm not going to show you what I'm writing in the book because sometimes it includes the names and the contacts of the people I'm working with, but I'm going to take you through it and I hope you have your pen and we are going through this together. The first thing I start with is starting with things that are of utmost priority. For me, the two things that are of most priority for this month are books that I'm writing. I'm currently ghostwriting 2 books. One needs to be ready within 2 weeks and another needs to be ready by the end of the month. So I need to prioritize those when I'm planning my daily activity. So activity 1 is my books. The second activity that is very important to me and that has a direct impact on my income is my magazine, newspaper, and blog clients. So the next thing that I prioritize are these jobs that I usually do on a daily basis. So I'm gonna write them down. Hey, I'm sure your schedule is not similar to mine, so write the things that are of priority to you. You might not be an online worker, you might be a business person in a different field. Write the things that make sense in your field of work, okay? Start with the things that make sense in your field of work. I'm just giving you a layout or a format that you can use. So first, I started with ghostwriting, which is very key to me because it's the highest kind of job that I do. And then I continued to my daily jobs, the ones that I do on a daily basis and which I also need to prioritize. The other thing that I prioritize is my website. And the reason I prioritize my website is because majority of my clients or even prospective clients, they go to my website to see my portfolio so that they can consider me for a job. I also communicate with so many people through my website, through the email on my website. If you've been here for a while, you know that I do have a community through writersfantasy.com, and in that community I do write to people. I genuinely do. If you're in the Writers Fantasy community, please comment in the comment section below and let everyone else know that we actually do communicate. So I also prioritize that. So I'll start with my website and then I'll go to the Writers Fantasy community. And there's also another community that I don't talk much about, but which I also prioritize. It's of upcoming writers. There are people that I mentor, people that I guide through the process, and obviously there are people that I write for as a ghostwriter. So I also prioritize those ones. The other thing that I prioritize after all that is my meetings, whether they're online meetings or whether they're physical face-to-face meetings. So I also put them down on my diary so that I can give them a place in the schedule. And finally, I also give YouTube my time. I've really not grown much on YouTube, but I'm very happy with the consistency in which I'm growing. It's not great, but it's consistent, and that gives me so much hope because it makes me think that I'm connecting to the right crowd. I also put down my YouTube. I put time to watch other people's content, and I also put time to create my content and to know what I'll be posting to you people. You have to note, sometimes these things don't go the way you've planned, because sometimes you plan and something comes up and you change your mind, or you're demotivated, or something happens and you change your mind. You have to put that in mind. Okay, so for me, I can say I have started with the things that are important to me, and I have gone in the order of priority, starting from the ones that give me direct income and that pay for my daily bills, though I must mention that all of them are very important to me. I know those are the things that are going to occupy my diary, but now I'm going to break them down further. Now, when I'm going to ghostwriting, I already know the content that I'm writing. I've told you that these 2 books are flowing over from last month, so I already have the outlook. One book, I'm already on chapter 8. It's going up to chapter 15, so I know what is going to each chapter, and usually, and I think I'll explain this. If you're interested, by the way, please comment. I will make sure I address this, but I usually plan my work according to chapters because I know what is going to each chapter. So on my daily activity sheet, I'm going to write, for example, on the 8th, I'll be writing chapter 9 and 10 of book 1, and on the 10th, I'll be writing chapter 1 and 2 of book 2. So I'll keep writing that, alternating. Obviously, I give it priority, so which means every day I'll try and cover a chapter or 2 of each book. On the website as well, the content that I'm writing there, I have different categories of contents. By the way, if you haven't checked out writersfantasy.com, go check it out. I'm sure you'll learn something new from it. I have different categories, and right now I'm really prioritizing on the portfolio because I haven't really built my portfolio in a long time. So I'm taking interviews, and I'm also writing current affairs stories. However, I also write random stories from my mind, from experience of my friends and families. I also write there for entertainment purposes. So I'm going to break that down into each topic that I'm going to write. I do about 5 topics in a month, so I will write those topics down. When it comes to the Writers Fantasy community, I usually write down the titles or the topics of things that I want to discuss with people who are in my community. I'm going to write that down as well. Now, when it comes to meetings, I only write a meeting with so and so on a specific date, because most times, especially if it's a client, they usually run the agenda. However, if it's a ghostwriting gig and it's somebody who we've already communicated and we just need to put down the layout, come out with an outline, discuss a few things about the book, especially if it's an autobiography, then sometimes I run the agenda of the meeting. So I have to write down the agenda of the meeting, and I have to write down the dates. Imagine, in this kind of work, you can forget what time you're supposed to have a meeting, especially if you're working with clients who are abroad or in other countries. Because of the time difference, you really have to factor that when you're writing it down. Also, for my face-to-face meetings, on my schedule, I'll write it 2 days in advance so that I remember to prepare for it. Remembering to prepare for it is me figuring out where are we meeting so that I may dress appropriately for where we are meeting, and also so that I may have some cash. Let's agree, sometimes you go to places and you can't depend on other people to pay your bills. Then finally, YouTube. I'll tell you, this month I'm very excited about the content that I'm creating. It has really been inspired by people who watch my content. Of late, I've been really encouraged to push my YouTube content. So I'm really excited to just interact with similar-minded people where we are discussing things that are making sense to us. I feel really great when we are interacting, when we are arguing. Sometimes you people don't agree with my points, and we exchange ideas and opinions, and I really love the connection we have. So I put that in mind when I'm creating my content, and I'm very excited because this month, majority of my content has been inspired by people I've either collaborated with or people who have written to me through my website or through here on YouTube. They've said something and I've picked it so that in future I may either answer it through a video or something like that. So I'm very excited for this month's content. Now that we've done that, let's go back to the schedule. Now, the secret of working online and creating a schedule is simple. Do not overpack your day. Sometimes you get random jobs in the middle of the day with crazy deadlines. For example, 24 hours deadline. Now, if you pack your day such that you don't have room to either stretch your legs, have exercise, just spend a little bit of time idling around, you're going to find it very difficult to manage getting those random jobs that need immediate attention. I'm very productive at night. So what I do, the jobs that really take up my mind, for example, the ghostwriting gigs I usually allocate them late hours in the evening. For example, I could start working on my first book at 5 and I write from 5 to example 8, and then I'll take a break and just watch some news, move around the house, take a shower, talk to people here and there and do things like that, and then I'll start again at 10 and I'll go up to midtime or sometimes even further. I usually don't say I'll write for like 2 hours. Sometimes I'm really psyched and I'm really inspired, so I just keep going. And then in the morning, what I do is I start with my blogs and my magazines, because these are things that have already been scheduled for me. I know what I'm doing the entire month. So when I wake up in the morning, I know I want to write an article or 2 and I want to deliver them immediately after I have finished working with them, so that I don't have a backlog on my desk. In the morning, I'm doing my activities that need priority and that are short. In the evening, I'm doing the long activities that need my energy and my attention. In the middle of the day, I'm doing a few things. For example, I shoot my videos just once a week, and I have 2 specific days that I've set aside for editing and uploading. So those days also have to be put in the calendar. I also have specific days that I write to my community and I write to future authors and people that I mentor. I write to them on Tuesday. I've also set aside Tuesday to do all the marketing I need. Basically, that's it. So now that I've told you all that, I think you've figured what you're doing on every day. As I said, the key here is not to bombard your day so that you get room to do other things that may pop up in the middle of the day. For me, I choose to do mornings and evenings. I'm extremely busy. In the middle of the day, I'm answering to people's questions, I'm responding to new clients, sometimes I'm bidding for jobs, and sometimes I'm out for cold calling or anything I need to do to get my business running. Now, I think I have prepared you. Here is my activity sheet. I'm going to fill it. I hope this information has been relevant to you, and I hope you're also going to do the same. Let me know in the comment section if this information has been relevant to you, and let me know if it has helped you to create a schedule for your job. Until my next video, goodbye.